Okay, abuzia makwa ba shonko so edeba Ghana politics avenue so abuzia yembonra yensem USA Interpol ashoki OSP kisi ejaben on Ken Ofori Atta ordinate red notice so abuzia OSP ama Ghana for enyano and Ghana for kra enyana wi sisi anon USA Interpol are exposing OSP or much say sisi ano omo yi Ken Ofori Atta the free Interpol red notice so na document OSP file and document no enye document papa bia na OSP the buy ebusia. There is much interesting moment ahead. Mommy yanko na yanko kuti and some course unsubscribe ya subscribe like na share my front so answer into me and can be Ghana Politics Avenue so and don't forget to click on the notification bell so never any update be a drop once able to me aka medamase.
In processes against Ken Ofori Atta, the special prosecutor has had some explaining to do in the last hours of the evening after news reports revealed the former finance minister was no longer on Interpol's wanted list. Let's get into that confusion. Dennis Poiberi Widam joins me here. He's my producer. One of my producers now. We'll go over the details of these developments. Dennis, let's start off with the red notice, the wanted list, which Ken Ofori Atta, Ghana's former finance minister, is supposed to be on.
Yes.
Now we know he's not on. Or is he back on?
No, I mean, as we check now, he's still not on. And a couple of times we have shown viewers this particular page, a live page of the Interpol website, where we have shown them where the former finance minister was placed on this particular list. But tonight, if you do the checks like we have done in the past, you are unable to find him on that particular list. So what is of a fact is that he is not visible on this particular list if you check on their website. But that in itself has been a matter of controversy. While there are reports that suggest that he's been removed, the OSP says that we should disregard such reports. Even though when you do your check, you do not find him listed as a wanted person as it used to be. But the OSP has been given an explanation as to why
this is so. I mean, what's the explanation?
Should be the basis for disregarding the reports that the OSP, the former finance minister, has been taken off the wanted list. Now, he makes reference to some ongoing legal processes that are to the effect that they were challenging the process of he being there, that lawyers had initiated processes to get him off that wanted list. That the process has been ongoing, and it gets to a point where they, as an office, were supposed to respond to some new information that had been adduced by lawyers for the former finance minister. And that in the circumstances, while the review is ongoing, it is the standard practice that Interpol would take out the person in the interim.
Because there's been a challenge.
Yes, until the decision is made. But that does not change the fact that when you go and search on the website, you do not find him listed as a wanted person. And that is what many have described as he has been taken off the wanted list. But what the OSP is suggesting to us that this is only a temporary situation, and that when the processes are done, the final determination will be made. These are excerpts of the statement that the OSP
I see. And the OSP gives some timelines.
Yes.
When he talks to us about why
and this
the
is
situation
just
is so.
Last month that they started, that in October 2025, the Commission for the Control of Interpol's file notified Ghanaian authorities that accused Ken Ofori Atta had applied for the removal of his name from the Interpol red notice. That the Commission requested Ghana's response to Mr. Ofori Atta's application. Ghana's response was duly submitted 22nd October 2025. That by communication dated November 7, 2025, the Commission for the Control of Interpol's files notified Ghanaian authorities that accused Ken Ofori Atta had filed additional arguments in an addendum. And the Commission requested Ghanaian authorities to file their response to Mr. Ken Ofori Atta's additional arguments by November 21, which is in about 2 days. Now that the proceedings are still pending, and the Commission for the Control of Interpol's file is still studying the case, that during the pendency of the proceedings, the applicant's name, image, and details are redacted from public view until a final determination, OSP says what has happened is that the details have been redacted and that he has not been removed from the list. But bottom line is, you do not see him
on the website.
On the
website.
Now, the OSP goes on to urge us to disregard any publication to the contrary, because that is the office in charge. But we have also been doing some checks. How this in itself comes about, or how people get listed on the Interpol Red Notice. Pretty straightforward process. You make a request, there's a review, and then the decision is made whether to publish the person on the website or not. It does appear that we had gone through this route, for which reason our former finance minister was on that particular website. But what is required? There are some specific conditions that need to be met before this is done. The minimum is that there has to be an offense, and that offense must concern, the offense should be one of a serious nature. The penalty for that offense has to be a minimum of 2 years. So if you are dealing with an offense that has incarceration period of a year, it means it doesn't qualify here.
Yeah.
It has to be custodial of 2 years or more. Now, when it comes to the judicial data that is required, you need to furnish them with all these documents. Summary of facts of the case, charges. Now, pay attention to the kind of data that is required here, because we'll come back to it. You are looking at the summary of facts of the case, the charges. 3, you are looking at laws governing the offense. You are looking at the maximum penalty possible in respect of the charges that you are going to prefer. Then references to valid arrest warrants or judicial decisions having the same effect. But we do know that it was only yesterday that charges were formally preferred against
That's correct.
the former finance minister. So then it raises the questions.
What did the OSP send there?
Exactly. And that also feeds into the conversation that perhaps the information that the OSP submitted to Interpol, for which reason our former finance minister was listed there, perhaps was inadequate. For which reason the filing of the charges yesterday probably prompted them to do a relook. However, when you look at the Interpol website, they also do periodic reviews of information that they've gathered on people. I.e., when they are prompted or when new information comes to their attention, they look at it and they take certain decisions, including deleting the people from the website or taking other actions. So that is the conversation we are having to deal with now. That yes, what is of a fact is that when you check the website, you don't find...
So Dennis, has the OSP given any explanation as to why, as a country, we are now seeing an announcement of charges against the former finance minister, yet knowing that it's part of the requirements to put somebody on the red notice of Interpol? I don't know if you get where I'm going.
The OSP has not done so because we had already crossed that line, because the former finance minister was duly published on the Interpol red notice.
Because then remember also that the basis for which his counsels go there and challenge him being on the red notice is because of the charges. Again,
there's also the question of this whole process from the OSP started, at least per their own statement, October 2025. The only time the public is getting to hear that there's this pending proceeding is only when a report came suggesting that the OSP, the former finance minister, had been removed from the Interpol red notice. Then we are now told that, yes, he has not been removed, but this is what is ongoing.
Could this be that charges then were filed to enable the OSP put Ken Ofori on the red notice that the public was unaware of, including the person who the charges were against?
That would be highly unlikely, because just last month, yes, the OSP himself indicated that he was going to charge these people. He was not going to charge them again. So that in itself tells us that that was when he was going to charge them before the end of November. So that issue of that they were charged before, where those charges probably will be part of public documents in the courts, but where exactly?
So the Office of the Special Prosecutor should be answering the question then, how did they go around those requirements to be able to put Ken Ofori on the red notice of Interpol? Valid question.
Valid question. The
Because
other
it
valid
has
question
given-
that could also be asked
Right.
is how did Interpol accept such information and publish it if it did not have some of the requirements that needed to be there? Fair questions.
Is this a big mess?
Well, they are still dealing with the matter. Proceedings are ongoing. And that's the reason there's a challenge. We are supposed to file a response. And when I say we, I mean as a state to this particular matter. And then a decision will be made whether to bring back the former finance minister on this particular red list or to remove him entirely. But of course, the bigger conversation has to be now, he together with others have been charged. They'll be formally put before the law courts. 78 charges. That is where the bigger conversation would be, really. And also the matters of extradition, because in respect of this, they're also seeking to bring him back to Ghana to face the law. Kabini.
Wow. I am genuinely curious and almost excited to know how, the OSP responds to this, right? But there are also other matters. We know that Martin Kpebu was invited to the OSP. He honored that invitation today.
Yes, he did.
Yesterday. No, the
today.
invitation was yesterday, but he honored the invitation today.
The invitation has been there for a while.
Right.
Yes, but he honored the invitation
today.
Yes. What
took him there?
Well, so the OSP has made some observations of some comments that Leonard Senior Martin Kpebu had made as part of the commentary that he makes in the media space. Some of those comments, he finds that there's the need for him to look into them. So he invited senior counsel to appear before him to assist and to provide further and better particulars in respect of those matters.
Dennis, you stay with me here because there's another legal matter to look at. But I'll now connect with Martin Kpebu. Again, counsel, I appreciate your time with us this evening. I know it's been a very long night for you. But first off, tell us what happened when you honored that invitation.
Yeah, so I got there early. Yeah, at least by the time I was even signing the record book, that was about 7 minutes to the time. Okay, so that's 1:53 or so. Yeah, and then we're ushered in. I was ushered in first into a waiting room. Yeah, waited. Then the first mishap happened when eventually we were asked to go upstairs to meet the persons who were scheduled to meet. Then the OSP underling, a junior officer, told me that I was entitled to have one lawyer. I said, what? One lawyer? Where? Which constitution is that? Is that Ghana? So we straightened him. And then he went to seek clarification from his bosses. And then they told him, okay, he could come and I had two lawyers at the time. My third lawyer, Lawyer Jakwasu, our president, was still on his way. So my two other lawyers, Marcel and Bia and the other colleague, they were with me. And so we went up. Then, so we're ushered in committee. And then after all the introductions, they sought to go into the matter. And we said, no, not so fast. Wait, let's clear some preliminary legal issues. So when we say preliminary legal issues, it means that when a committee or a court is about to go into any matter, and there are some issues that can render the work of the court or the committee useless, not justice cannot be used. You have to raise those so that the person in the chair would look at them and then see. So we raised the matters that had to be raised, and then eventually, just to keep it short, they acceded to our request. Yes, they acceded to our request. So then the meeting was adjourned. So in all, about 22 minutes, then we were done. Yes, about 22 minutes. That's the actual hearing. The rest were, there will be small conversations. That was before we started, and then after we ended. And then that was it.
What are the grounds for this invitation? Hello?
Yeah, so a number of them, there are at least 4. So number 1, this is how they put it generally, that I should come and let's put this out first. I'm not under any investigation for any crime or anything. No, they said they basically want me to clarify. This word clarify can be too general. I think if you put it bluntly, it means at least substantiate some of the allegations you made. Yes, the word clarify is used, but if you look at the clarify, I don't think it's about, oh, we don't understand this word, we don't understand that word. It's basically, oh, can you show us some more evidence beyond the things you said? I think that's the way I understand it. So I've raised at least 4 issues. Number one, what I said in the various interviews on TV3, okay, that they have issues with are one, that Kisieja being colluded with Ken Ofori for Ken Ofori to leave. That's the statement I made, yes. And I said so because it's Kisieja being himself who came and told Ghanaians that he came to confess that before Ken Ofori left, he, Kisieja being a special prosecutor, intercepted the letter Kisieja Ofori wrote to the incoming chief of staff and the outgoing chief of staff, informing them and asking for permission to travel. So he said he had sent this letter, and then he went to NIB, he didn't get help. He went to immigration, didn't get help, and then went to national security, didn't get help. So I was like, what? How? So that's the most crucial one. That's the most crucial issue. So I said, no. For me, because the obvious answer was that in such a case, you do a press conference. The Constitution allows it. I've cited the preamble to the Constitution. I've cited Article 1, Article 35, and Article 125. All of them say that the people of Ghana, we are the sovereign, we are the bosses. That's what we call the constitutional principle of civic oversight over state institutions. Civic oversight. Just like you hear Parliament to say it has oversight over the executive. Yes, we, the Ghanaian people, we have oversight over all the public institutions. So if you face a challenge and you come to us, yes, that's democracy. Then there's nothing like oath of secrecy. No. If somebody is doing something wrong against our constitution, against our public governance, and you come out to say it, you are not breaching an oath of secrecy. No, oath of secrecy is not to protect crime, wrongdoing. So that principle of civic oversight is what I thought if Kisi doesn't understand the principle of civic oversight, then he should leave that office. So that's ground one. Then I also raised issues of conflict of interest. I said there was one of the officers of the OSP who is involved in the SML investigations. But earlier on, that officer had been working for GRA and had worked along with West Blue. And West Blue came to kick out SML. West Blue is the company that was doing the job that SML was brought to do. And so I mentioned that there were issues of conflict of interest. And this ones we have details. Now, the matter of conflict of interest I raised is now a public document. The people who are raising the conflict of interest have since presented a petition to SHRAG. The petition, I believe, is online, maybe many portals. I know TV3, you did a story on it, so the petition should be online. Many other portals have the petition online. So the issues of conflict I raised are public notice now. They are online. And the people who made the allegations of the conflict of interest, they are there. They can be brought to substantiate or, otherwise of their statement. Then finally, I said that the special prosecutor was corrupt and that the OSP, the office, was a crime scene. And even in the same video I said there were 2 employees, just a few examples. I said there were 2 employees who were working domestically for the special prosecutor, but they are employed by the office. Yeah, I raised that. And, I don't want to expand the scope. At least I'm just reiterating what is in the videos. But, as if you ask me to come and substantiate, obviously I'll come with a lot of information beyond the video. Your question was that, what are the grounds? On what basis was I invited? And I'm saying that looking at the video, that's the interview I granted to TV3. These are the matters I raised, and for which reason they want clarification.
I see, Counsel, I can't help but notice that you sound as though this invitation was not necessary to start with. Am I correct?
No. For me, it's good riddance. It's good riddance because it has brought the matter back to the fore so that we can debate it. Yes, it's good riddance. Everything happens for a purpose because you see now we can interrogate it. So call governance experts, call people who deal with our constitutions and our constitution 1992 and governance generally. Kisie Jabi played that part. He says these institutions didn't help him to catch Ofori. This is a matter that deserves to be investigated. It's a serious matter. It's not, we cannot allow this to go. Your special prosecutor comes to say National Investigative Bureau, formerly BN9, National Security and Immigration didn't help him when he wanted to stop Ofori from fleeing. And nobody is waking up for us to go into it. It's a serious matter.
I see now. So demonstration is the way to go?
Absolutely. I'm seeking help. Oh, yeah, yes. Unless he and his 2 lieutenants resign, eventually we'll do a demonstration before we present a petition. The reason is that the principle we have to uphold in this case is civic oversight. Ask the governance expert.
Okay, I was now winning and some course of our political highway. So a OSP and Interpol for Abba exposing any asem kitwakwa. And I just say incompetence, Abusuya OSP, I or you're very careful. Winning and some course, but I must say, some of Japan cocotis are and some way at my Ghana Politics Avenue. So, but I must say.